Okay, here we go. I want to review what is leading up to this essay that we're doing. I'll go way back in time. You guys remember that we read Beowulf, and we also went over medieval virtues a long time ago. So we have some information that we have read and that we've annotated and we've talked about. And that information will lead to our essay. Then we talked about Anglo-Saxon culture mainly in Beowulf, but Anglo-Saxon culture as a result of the time period and the violence of the time period. We talked about what that was, how it showed up in Beowulf. And then we compared all this information we had gathered in a chart. In the chart, we had done a bunch of work as a group, and the group came up with a bunch of answers. You were permitted to use the group answers if you wanted to, just copy and paste, or you could add your own. So we went over what these medieval concepts were, and we went over what the Anglo-Saxon concepts were. So at this point, you have a good definition for all the medieval concepts that we are going to be talking about, and all the Anglo-Saxon concepts we're going to talk about. And the last thing I asked you to do, if you did not get an A on this chart, it's because you didn't go back here to the top and talk about a few of the concepts and how they compare in Anglo-Saxon times and medieval times. And the whole point of this chart was to get your brain thinking about these concepts and how they have changed over time. Anglo-Saxon time was before medieval times, and how did some of these ideas change over time? Because in the end, you're going to write an essay about how these concepts change over time. So hopefully you did this chart and you've completed it, because that was one of the steps. All right, so the steps so far were to do all the reading and then do some comparing. And then I gave you an essay question. In the essay question, there were 5 questions and you got to choose one, and you hopefully answered it. Then I reminded you about what a thesis was. There was a little video and a quiz. A thesis, of course, is your answer to the essay question. Then I reminded you what topic sentences are. There was a video and a quiz. Topic sentences usually are the first sentence in each paragraph, and it tells you what that paragraph is going to be about. It pretty much has all the information condensed into one sentence before you explain it. So after you remind yourself what a thesis and a topic sentence are, the next thing I asked you to do was to create your own thesis and topic sentences. And it looked something like this. It was boxes, and in the first box, you wrote your answer to your essay question as a thesis statement. Ideally, it had a capital at the beginning and a period at the end, so it really was a statement, and it really did answer your question. And then you wrote a topic sentence for each thing you're going to explain about how it supports the thesis statement. Maybe you chose a concept, and you're going to refer it back to your thesis statement. Maybe you chose an idea, or maybe you chose one of the stories, and you're trying to prove your point that you made in your thesis statement. Hopefully you did this and you turned it in. Hopefully I went in and had a chance to comment. I had a chance to add comments on the side. Hopefully I did. I added comments and gave you ideas, because I want you to go in, edit it, and then resubmit it for an A++. Once you're done with this, you're going to notice that you're going to take all of it, Control A, and copy it. Copy it. I'll show you why. Because once you're done with the thesis and topic sentences, we're going to move on to the evidence organizer. In the evidence organizer, you're going to need to know how to put quotes in. So we're going to review the ICE method, the introduce, cite, explain method of how to use a quote. You don't just throw your quote in the paper, you introduce it. Then you put the quote in, and then you explain why you used it. So make sure you take that review quiz and get an A++ on that. And then you're going to move on to the evidence organizer. And this is what I want you to do. Open your copy of the evidence organizer. And right here where it says paste here, okay, I want you to copy and paste your thesis and topic sentence below, right here. So right here, you're going to paste your organizer. And there it is. Hopefully yours is all filled out, of course. And then I want you to copy one evidence organizer box after each topic sentence. So you go down to the bottom and you'll copy one of these. And you will paste one after each topic sentence. So one goes here. One goes here. And one goes here. Or you could just use this one that's already down there. You could just bring it up. All right, so now what you're going to have your thesis statement already. You're going to have your topic sentence already. And then you're going to go find a quote. You're going to put a quote in this middle box. Then make sure you introduce your quote and make sure you explain your quote so that when you're done, once you read the topic sentence and your introduction and your quote and your evidence, it reads like a paragraph. It's like goes from sentence to sentence to sentence to sentence, and it makes sense and it flows. That's the whole job. That's what you're doing today. You really only need one quote. If you want more than one quote, you could put another box like this and do another quote with an introduction, cite, and explain. But you really only need one quote for each paragraph. And when you're done, you'll turn this in all filled out. That's your evidence organizer. Notice we've added the quotes. Okay, that's really all we did was we added your quotes to your old work. So that's what we're doing. Do I have any questions before I turn the video off?
What's the essay question?
The essay question, you remember, if we go back in time, there's a choose one essay question, and you chose one. So you chose one of these 5 essay questions to answer, the one that made the most sense to you. Any other questions?